Tuesday, December 9th, 1975, and now Lowell Thomas.
From Warsaw, from Tel Aviv, and from Colorado Springs comes today's news. Good evening, everybody. This is Lowell Thomas for CBS News. Soviet leader Brezhnev was the main speaker today at the Polish Communist Party Congress in Warsaw. He called for a new spirit of mutual trust between East and West, based on the recent Helsinki Pact, also saying he hopes to see a breakthrough in the stalled SALT talks, all of which over here was taken with a bit of salt. Secretary of State Kissinger is postponing his trip to Moscow till at least next month, saying he has received information the Soviets are now willing to reconsider their strategic arms position, and then adding, there's no sense in hurrying the process. Better move at a pace which would permit a very detailed examination. He also said, while the Soviets have not committed any clear-cut violations of the first SALT agreement, they have come close, most recently in placing heavy missiles in silos originally built for lighter missiles, adding, this raises a serious question as to Soviet intent. Now this message. The Lebanese army intervenes directly for the first time in the Beirut fighting between Muslim and Christian gunmen. Army commandos driving a wedge between the two factions, ousting both from downtown hotels. Somewhere in Beirut, elsewhere, the fighting went on and on. The army intervention led to a collapse of a new peace conference, Muslim leaders accusing the army of siding with the Christians. Death toll in 8 months of on and off fighting, nearly 5,000. At Tel Aviv, an indication that Israel may yet agree to take part in the upcoming UN debate on the Middle East. Israeli Foreign Minister Yigal Allon saying Israel still refuses to sit down with the PLO, but it is possible there will be a change in circumstances. The White House, President Ford today signed into law the Save New York bill, doing so with no advance notice and no ceremony. Sent an aide, this to expedite matters. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, thumbs down on the British-French Concorde Supersonic jetliner. EPA Administrator Russell Train saying the Concorde is too noisy. NATO defense ministers meeting in Brussels agreed in principle to purchase a $2 billion fleet of American radar planes to be used to track low-flying aircraft that fail to show at present on ground-based radar. The New York Stock Exchange reports a drop of nearly 20% in the number of individual Americans holding stocks in U.S. firms. Also, young people have not been entering the market. Not enough to offset the attrition, said he. From Treasury Secretary Simon, a plea for tax reforms in combination with a new ceiling on federal spending. This before the Senate Finance Committee. Simon saying Congress has a unique opportunity to turn the tide of fiscal irresponsibility. Another press crackdown begins in India with the imposition of a new publication of objectionable material ordinance. Publishers of Indian newspapers henceforth to face fines, jail, and loss of publication privileges for printing what may be objectionable to the government. The U.S. Air Force Academy has sent out an appeal for women applicants. Officials noting there's still 150 vacancies to be filled by next June. Qualifications, if you're interested, the same as those for men. Age, at least 17, but not past 22. A U.S. citizen of good moral character, unmarried, and then off you go into the wild blue yonder. And now this message. In Atlanta, state troopers chasing a speeding car in a 50-mile chase. Speeds up to 130 miles an hour. Fleeing driver crashing through 3 roadblocks, then losing control, crashing into a house porch. State trooper Sapp saying, I thought I had a race driver. It turned out the culprit, a 17-year-old girl who didn't even have a driver's license. Why not? Because, said she, I never needed one. And now for CBS News, this is Lowell Thomas saying, so long until tomorrow.
I'm Brooke Hulley, WJR News.